Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Faymonville approach. Between the west, we got Loren here, a rank 78 player from Korea, fighting for the Oberkommand West Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role of the 2nd SS Panzerdivision das Reich. There's in the east or southeast, we got Redxwings himself, fighting for America, freedom, and democracy, taking on the role here of the 1st Armored Division. We're looking here at Breakthrough, Spec Ops, and Elite Armored with Triple Infantry versus Airborne, Recon Support, and Rifle Company with a mix of Rearson, Bazooka, and Infantry Bulletins. Certainly some of the less more commonly used doctrines there from Redxwings, whereas Loren is very much on point there in terms of meta doctrines. A double cool bank start there for Loren versus double rifle for Redxwings. Loren's going to focus just on aggression here versus Redxwings, using his cool bank's ability to strike off some of the bullets, of course, the ability to grab a lot of territory if necessary here versus Redxwings. So we'll have to see how it works. Holy moly, he's going for... Oh, looks like he was briefly considering triple Kubelwagens, but decided that was perhaps not the best idea, instead aiming for some Volksgrenadiers. We got Rearson Riflemen gegen the Sturmpioniere, M1 Carbines, M1 Garands versus the Sturmgewehr 44. Shots being fired here across the terrain overall, not being when we're engaged with the Sturmpanies because they're simply outdone there at range. Up north, we got the double cool ones versus Riflemen there. A lot of G34 fire there, raking the Riflemen as they advance on the Kubelwagen. But there we go, pulling into the cover, the ships down a much better chance. Downtown, Sturmpanies are losing out here to Redxwings' merry band of misfits. And up north, the Kubelwagens just continue to blast away. The Riflemen doing their best versus the Kubelwagens' lightly armoured hulls. With more folks then moving up, we got a second Rearson squad out here for Redxwings. Could perhaps indicate he's planning Rifle Company and a lot of flamethrowers, or there might be something else going on there for Redxwings. We'll have to find out. Are we double Rifle and double Rearsons versus double Kubelwagen, Sturmpioneers, and Volksgrenadiers? Redxwings Rifle pressing on. He won't see much on flank behind me. Kubelwagen rushing for the fuel point there, supported by the Volksgrenadier. They keep choosing away for reinforcements. We got an ambulance there for Redxwings for some early healing and reinforcement, if you decide to use it, that is for sort of more aggressive purposes. Some players tend to do, other players tend to be a lot more passive with their ambulances. They do require a bit more management, obviously, if you actually decide to pop them out in the open. More folks are there following up for Loren. More shooting here, Rifle and Southern around, but they do manage to cut off the point there ever briefly. Rearson here fighting against the Kubelwagen, taking heavy losses there, 2 men down, only, well, 1 man to go there, and there you go, forced away here. Redxwings forced to abandon the fight for the northern fuel point, but there you go, we got the ambulance out there for Redxwings, providing healing and reinforcement. Again, if he decides to move ahead, they can provide reinforcement. Otherwise, it's pretty much just used for healing only. Some players like to use the ambulance aggressively, some players like to stuff a ranger squad inside the ambulance and use it like a transport, though those players are very rare and also a bit insane. So there you go, big push here from Redxwings. Kubelwagen being pushed back, got the Fultons in heavy cover. Points being secured here, and we got the Fultons moving down for the other fuel point. And what is Redxwings doing here? Nothing further. Nothing further. Just healing and preparing for the next big move there against Loren, who is going for more Volksgrenadiers. We got a 3rd squad on the way there for Loren. And there we go, Rifle Division then getting the Kubelwagen, a lot of bullets there, planking against the frontal armour. Doing a lot of damage there, actually, in this case. Almost getting the Kubelwagen there, and no, gets away with a tiny sliver of health. A tiny sliver of health. The only thing holding that Kubelwagen together is stale sauerkraut. In fact, there was a case of a Schwimmwagen doing the retreat from the Falaise Gap, and basically made it across a river. They're basically plugging out any holes with stale bread. Fun fact. Points they're being secured in the centre. Rearson versus the Fultons, but they're losing out pretty badly. We got Tag up there for Loren, likely going to be the mechanized. We can see the ambulance pushing ahead. They've actually suffered some damage there, but still setting up there for more forward position, allowing Redxwings to operate a bit more aggressively versus his opponent. We turn down for Redxwings to just further press aggressively versus Loren, who is now hitting the field very hard. Redxwings certainly doesn't quite have the same force, and again the Kubelwagens they provide them again with the ability to really just fight the Riflemen without necessarily having to reinforce them, and that way Loren can then save manpower and that and just get more infantry out faster than the Redxwings, who just, you know, bleeds out and has to reinforce. That's sort of some of the advantages the Kubelwagen actually carrying confers the Oberkommand West. Riflemen reinforcing, attacking the ambulance, and they're going to falling back, they're having repaired it swiftly. There's Rearsons, Riflemen charging forwards, Rearsons following up there. A lot of firepower there, as the Fulks are there being engaged violently, decisively. And they're going to get up there on the minimap. That one in Loren's space, we've got the mechanized Recon going on there. Fulks going to be pushed back with severe casualties. Got the ambulance moving back here. And the lieutenant is done in just a moment there for Redwings. Can follow up maybe with a 50 caliber here versus Loren. He could follow up with 2. Pearson's there keeping the Germans occupied with the other squad. Their flanks in behind here, trying to get up maneuver Redwings, but of course he counters the rifleman, freshly reinforced by the half-tech here. They could try and charge the Fulks. Looks like they do not. Just going to start following up with the retreat, and we got the lieutenant moving up here, heading northwards. Not going to follow the rest of the troop side, so they're going to try and beat another path versus Loren. That way maybe gain some ground. And does it? Yes, he finally gets an anti-tank rifle grenade there on the Kubelwagen there. Might then actually chance of destroying it for once. One Kubelwagen having hit their 2-2 with 5 kills for Germany. Look, it's this, Fritz. We're heroes. We only killed 5 guys. Yeah, but in a Kubelwagen. Our rate of survival is usually just 2 minutes. I don't actually know why they keep using Kubelwagens in this war, to be honest. And we got the Kubelwagen. Rather need to get out of there though. Still, that's a wipe there in theory against Loren there. We'll turn ahead a bit. We got a 50 cover following up there. Rattling still in control of the map. We still got the ambulance again, meaning he doesn't have to necessarily retreat all the time. There you go, the 50 caliber, the Mardus. Lieutenant versus Kubelwagen here defending the fuel point there. There's still the other fuel point, and Loren here already, thanks to the both fuel points, is able to call in a looks pretty aggressively here versus Redwings, who's only got a 50 caliber and the anti-tank rifle grenade to see it off with, which is a pretty tall order. A pretty tall order there for Redwings. And it's only going to be quite the question how he actually intends to pull this off. Got the Fulks moving down, then we got the rifle moving up. I mean, one option would be the anti-aircraft half-tech, which is actually kind of good at doing it. And obviously, we could try and catch it with some armor-piercing rounds instead of the looks, but they can be a bit hit and miss there. Can be a bit hit and miss. We'll have to see how that goes out. But it could maybe keep the looks a bit abated. We've got Fulks moving up from the north here, a lot of assault rifles in hand. That certainly puts some pressure on Redwings' flanks, and we'll have to see how he actually manages that. We got the Kubelwagen rolling southwards there, outmaneuvering Redwings, even as he's pushing towards the centre. They're reinforcing it with more troops. And he's also harassing a bit in the north with some re-echelons. Got the Lukes moving in, they're supporting the infantry from the front, which actually allowed the 50 up just to switch on armor piercing rounds a bit more easily. Redwings set to go for dogs in the Niles line there. Go flanking here, the rifle lieutenant here goes for the ambulance straight away. Autocannon fire piercing it. He's abandoning it with the medics. Does not want to lose the ability to heal. There you go, ambulance down, but then he does have the medics, which will allow him to just heal the troops no matter what. So it's not a complete waste there for Redwings. Looks like they're going to hit with a tank rifle grenade. And theoretically within range of the arm piercing rounds here. If he were to pop it, but he doesn't, and now quickly be out of it. Still, he got the looks there quite damaged, down to less than half health. And we got recon support for Redwings. We got recon support. Hello. You don't see that one very often. He did lose the reactions up north here to the German Pioneers. Got it. But we got a Greyhound out. We got a Greyhound out from Redwings. The M8 Greyhound. Primary reconnaissance vehicle of the US Army. Fun fact. So there you go with its 30mm gun. Also access to canister shots, though they're kind of rubbish, to be honest. MD-34 following up here for Loren to help control Redwings infantry. A lot of Fulks grenadiers there. M8 patrolling, looking for easy targets with which to destroy with this 37mm gun. Lieutenant falling back, there's a huge horde of angry Germans from the 2nd SS pursuing them. Might try and bait them into the 50 caliber here. And Redwings is actually using his medics to grab territory. Not bad. A bit cheeky, a bit risky, but I mean, he can just hit the retreat button, then he'll make your way back. Got the MD-34 there blasting away, grabbing the fuel point. Greyhound rolling about, getting armoured skirts up. There we go, got the 5th caliber there, shredding the crouch out in the open. 30mm opening up as well there. Loren's assault T not quite working out around the centre. Greyhound though shooting away, not quite landing any hits so far. And up north we got the looks there, prowling ahead. Might try and flank the area around here. Go straight for it, go straight for it. But he's going to get right within range of an anti-tank rifle grenade. He's not careful. Looks like he didn't see it because they were hiding around the house. Nice job there by Redxwings. Gets an anti-tank rifle grenade up in front of it. It's caught right in front of the 50 cal there. Armor piercing rounds, and he's gonna get the looks, destroying Loren's light anti-tank, light tank there, using a 50 cal Greyhound and a rifle score. That's bloody impressive. That is bloody impressive. He actually pulled that one off. If you're trying to follow up with another Greyhound here, just for more sort of Greyhound antics, or I suppose you could try and save up resources for something else, but he took out a looks with certainly a less than expected combination. And meanwhile, he's gaining a lot of map there from Loren, who's going for a second looks, a second Aufklärungspanzer, the which to torment and haunt the armies. Certainly a bit rare, but some players will go for it to feel like they sort of got a situation where they can get away with it, though it is not without a risk. We've got the MG-34 moving up, taking fire from the reactions, driving also nearby. Greyhound moving up and supporting the medics now, actively joining in the final onset of the riflemen. Redxwings has clearly bit the Geneva Conventions goodbye there. And going straight for the Kugelwagen here. Lost a unit though, looks like the Rearslunds bit the dust here in the south. Another loss for Redxwings. Got the Kugelwagen there, there we go, got the second looks moving ahead there for Loren. Catching the rifle and the medics in a pretty bad spot, as the medics in particular are not exactly equipped for taking on a light tank. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not an anti-tank man. What's an anti-tank man? Shut up, Jim. I'll remove your kidneys. Rather than retreating, Greyhound falling back as well in the face of this second looks, which he possibly wasn't expecting. I mean, again, it's a bit sort of on the, you know, so-so side if your opponent actually decides to go for the looks, because in one sense, again, if your opponent, you know, didn't have a lot of specific counter in this situation, for example, you know, it might work out, but even then, you're actually giving your opponent then more time to then bring up other counters to it. So it's a bit of a thing there. In the meanwhile, they seems to be saving up for an airdrop combat group, which could be quite useful there versus the looks. 2 paratrooper squads, anti-tank gun, 900 manpower. Basically, the big problem with this one is you have to save up 900 manpower, which basically means you have to sort of play very defensively to really sort of just pull it off, which isn't always sort of viable. So that's sort of the trick with that ability. That is the trick with it. Got a Panzer Force on the Greyhound, bit of bad luck there for Redxwings. Attack on the centre again, straight into the 50 caliber again. This time, though, Loren seems to have slightly learned his lesson as the armor piercing rounds pierces the looks once more. Doing a bit of damage here, but not a lot there. The penetration rate obviously is a bit lower at longer range, but still several shots do penetrate the looks, doing some nasty damage there. Young fighting around the northern field point, Greyhound being repaired. Redxwings pushing the south as well. 50 cal overall providing a sort of zone of denial here. Oh, almost got a wipe there. MG-34 defending the southern field point there against the harassment from Redxwings. There you go. Got the Greyhound moving in again, straight within the Panzerfaust range once more. Did not work out too well there for Redxwings. Greyhound again. Now he has to repair it again. Meanwhile, he's just setting up there for the airdrop combat group, but again he is suffering losses, which will further delay the airdrop combat group. The paratroopers, and of course the anti-tank gun. And meanwhile, he's taking up now, so that will certainly further delay, but not by a huge deal. But I guess that makes sense nonetheless. You know, want to have the tech ready to bring out some tanks to roll over those krauts. Loren has gone for the battle group headquarters, which will certainly further delay any sort of medium armor here versus Redxwings, but of course give Redxwings more time to then counter Loren. 50 caliber there with armor piercing rounds against versus the looks. Greyhound now moving up to support that one. Getting very close there to veteran fleet on the 50 caliber machine gun. Need to be careful there with the Greyhound and the Redxwings. Careful. So a lot of the shots are actually bouncing off at the longer ranges against the Greyhound. And you've heard of considering they could rather than try and rush it with the Greyhound, you could try and flank it with the rifle forcing away, thus opening up the southern field from there. Greyhound almost knocked out here. Main gun is out. Main gun is out. Major out for Redxwings, and again he seems to be aiming for it, but again he can't go for it because he just keeps fighting. So it's sort of a bit of a sticky situation there versus Loren. And he has to sort of make a decision if he actually wants to go for the head-up combat group or what. Otherwise, you should probably consider some other things like, you know, weapon racks, getting out some bazookas and his rear echelons, maybe some BARs and the rest of the troops. That way, challenging his opponent a bit more aggressively. But there you go, Veteran 350 caliber versus Luke's, which is Veteran 2. There he goes, finally forced to pull back the 50. Meanwhile, we've got a big push here. Reactions, riflemen, medics, lieutenant, all just joining in the action. The medics keep firing their pistols. They actually got a kill. The medics got a goddamn kill. How often do you see that? Trying to get a wipe here in the focuses with the Greyhound, and yes, got a unit on a little bit of loss there for Loren, and the 2nd SS Panzer Division does die. In the south round being held up, they need to retreat soon. I mean, already now it's going to be pretty difficult since there's a low on health and there's a lot of folks going to use high levels of veterancy with assault rifles. It's retreat there. Yeah, I could have tried to go try making a run for him, then hit bolted over, then retreated. Graham southwards, making the center as it looks. Very close to the head upcoming group. Very close. Of course, the funny thing is that he just, you know, gone for, say, maybe some more 50 caliber something else, or fuel cache, but probably have a better situation now that could allow him to actually have tanks up by now. And there you go, Greyhound, a lot of trouble here, getting flanked here by the looks, but now he can call in the airdrop combat group. He can call it in. And the Greyhound, though, has lost here, looks gaining veteran 3. 50 cover there. Opening up much more with arm-piercing rounds. Got the anti-tank gun dropping down, and we got the paratroopers. We've got one squad with assault submachine guns and one with bazookas. So certainly something that'll help us the looks, and certainly something that'll help us the rest of the infantry. We just need to crew that anti-tank gun as fast as possible. That way, bring it to bear versus Loren. If we can do that, I think Redwing should have a good chance here. Got the paratroopers being hit, forces rushing into the house there to guard themselves against the attacking Americans. Quick rifle grenade there. Trying to bait them out to the open. In this case, it doesn't work out, and that basically means to take minimal damage from it, so that ends up not quite working out for Redwings. 50 cover instead of the loops, and the MD-34 now occupying the house. Risking actually losing the veteran 350 cover, which would be quite a loss there for Redwings, and he does it. That's quite a loss there. Veteran 350 cover was actually quite good, so that was not good for Redwings at all. Not good. That'll be a bit tricky for him to replace. He's yet to recruit the anti-tank gun. Instead he's recruiting the 50 caliber by the looks of it. I do think he should have prioritized the anti-tank gun. I mean, had the anti-tank gun he'd support the 50 caliber there, I think that looks would have been dead. So a bit, I think, of a lighter mistake there by Redwings versus Loren, who's got his 3rd truck on the way. That's going to be a spare punted quarters. The question is what we'll play for. Medium armor, or will he be trying to stay up for a King Tiger? Could be a Sturmtiger or a Command Panther sort of in plan for Loren. That's the big question here. What is the big plan? Map-wise, it's sort of 50-50 split here between Redwings and Loren. Redwings sort of got a better sort of map situation now here versus Loren. 50 cover recruit, but again, getting blasted there by the now veteran 3 looks. In fact, very close to veteran 4 looks. And still no sign of the anti-tank in an operation. In fact, he's trying to, I think, to destroy it there with his looks. He's encounters an awful lot of angry American paratroopers with bazookas. Also noting, Redwings actually need to float quite a few munitions. He's got 300. I mean, again, that could be a lot of BARs and some bazookas there to challenge Loren's looks and whatnot with. Going back to the northern fuel point. Loren's spare punted quarters going up there for the fatherland. Yet no doctrine for him. Approaching the 20-minute mark. Generally not something I feel is amazing. Got more Recon levels on. He's clearly expecting Redwings to go for some kind of armor soon enough, so he's doubling down on it. He's doubling down on those Recon levels as fast as humanly possible. Rather than enforcing, medic sealing stuff up. And there you go, fuel point back, and Redwings controlling can soon go for a Sherman tank. Loren on the hand some time away from a tank, so if Redwings make good use of Sherman, he could actually pressure Loren quite a bit here. He could pressure him quite a bit. Of course, the trick's going to be all those like Kedden maps, but he then, of course, uses smoke from the Shermans. He could certainly also deal with that. There's also the option here for the Iron R Pathfinders with some of the best calling artillery in the game because it's just so swift and accurate. And also reasonably cheap, considering the power level of it. And that could be a way, for example, of spotting our Arcade and then doing an engagement, just quickly calling in some pinpoint artillery to utterly annihilate it. There we go though, M1 anti-tank and in action now for Redwings and the 1st Armoured Division. Almost got the looks there annihilated, almost got annihilated. But it gets away there with a tiny sliver of health. Of course they're bunched out from the Lieutenant, the Major and the Paratroop. The Major though gets Major Lee, got it, and there goes Sherman for Redwings. Bringing up his own tank now. Van Hunt gone out of there, Lieutenant. Redwings losing ground here in the north to Loren's ruthless assault. Also going to need some repairs, and we got Obersoldaten out here. Hardened SS veterans from the battles of Kharkov. We've seen many things and killed many people in many ways. Moving ahead there with the LMG 34 in hand soon enough, and of course the Kar98K. Looks moving in there, going getting the rifle out in the open there. LMG 34 as well. That's going to be quite a threat there to the rifleman. And there goes Sherman out for Redwings. The 1st medium tank of the fight. Loren can soon go for a Panzer IV, could also try and set out for the Panther. Of course, he might have bigger armoured plans. And going to tank landing, good hit again, Sherman up for the centre here. Take double hits of the Kedner. First, he's going to need, I think, a smoke screen here. In theory, we could actually smoke the area here and then rush in with infantry that way cleared out. We'll have to see what he does, though. Smoke screen there, we go. Could actually then follow up with infantry and assault the area. Got one with Kedner there, got one. Definitely win there for Redwings. But sadly, there's no real follow-up to the Sherman here in the centre. Again, I mean, he essentially smoked out the MG-34, but never really sort of pushed through. So it seems a bit of a waste of the attack. I mean, again, like, had he just rushed in there, smoked that position, then fought with infantry, could have taken the area and probably pushed back Loren here easily. Maybe even stolen our Kedner, which would have been great there for Redwings, because it really wants to deny his opponent those Kedner, particularly because it's actually going for more of them. And generally, like, one Kedner is not very good, but if your opponent is actually allowed to get several of them, the can become quite a problem. So we'll have to see here what Redwings does as a follow-up, but that's definitely felt like a bit of a fruitless attack. Another option you could also consider some artillery mortars there, but like this option, they could also go for the Scott. That would also do them good. We got a Kedner creeping here, they're going to look for the Sherman. Redwings also seems to be setting up for something here. Also note, by the way, paratrooper support squad to this, the paratroopers from this doctrine can actually lay down mines. It's not something a lot of people know because most people never utilise them. There you go, you even got one with Kedner over there. That's actually not good for Loren. That's definitely one he can deny to Loren, and that's a definite win there for Redwings, and particularly then makes good use of it. Looks like rolling ahead. Veteran 5 and Ace, light tank crew. Paratroopers are getting blasted. Bazooka rockets flying in there, go penetrating the frontal armor, leaving the Lux crew dazed. Not in a good situation. Paratroopers are getting shredded, like Kedner are supporting valiantly, with Fulsgrenadier pushing forwards. The overall situation in the north is still. Oh, there we go. We got a smoke screen down here. Redwings having gone for grenades in his rifleman and lieutenant, and lying there for an option. Sherman though getting blasted here with a rifle grenade, or Panzerfaust, and the Kedner fire. They go smoking down, troops being suppressed to all of his troops in quarter. Sherman fire lands an excellent hit there. Paratroopers lieutenant pushing forward with grenade here. This is looking pretty bad for Loren. Grenade off right into the midst of it. Almost wiping the orbital down there. Lieutenant or paratrooper, there we go. We got tactical assault there. Almost getting them wiped there. Almost. Horrific blow there to Loren by Redwings. Horrific. That was astounding. And Loren here in response actually goes for Elite Armoured. Likely to call in a Sturmtiger. Redwings can actually go for another Sherman soon enough. Securing the centre victory point. I mean, these bases have just opened up most of the map there thanks to that assault. And there you go. Loren here, possibly in a fit of desperation, calls in the Sturmtiger to try and throw back Redwings. I mean, In the right situation, you can do a lot there, but the problem with the Storm Tiger is if you're behind, it can't necessarily always help because the Storm Tiger is not a very good push unit. It's sort of more of an assault unit. You just blast away there, make a big burst, full up with it, but like, if you don't have anything to sustain it with, it's just not very good. But again, you can get some wipes on again. That's also one way of just slowly turning the game around. Lieutenant there, almost annihilated by the Storm Tiger, but there's one man who survives. Though he's probably deaf now. There's one standing about there harassing the south. You got like Kenworth creeping ahead. And Redxwings has to recruit the other one, I think, now. In fact, he's still standing about there. Always shown, almost good to go. Looks rolling ahead very swiftly, mercilessly. Bazooka team, anti-tanking team slowly moving ahead. Well, the anti-tanking team seems to be pirouetting about a bit there. Big push here. Looks like going to set up for something. Maybe an assault through here in the south. Maybe try and grab the Academy back there. Something out of the way. Interesting attack path there from Loren against Redxwings. In this case, gets caught here with a sham. There you go. Almost swiping the Obersoldaten again. MG setting up. They get Granny off on the rifleman. Wiping the MG-34. Anti-tank gun is still doing I don't know what there. This time moving through the south. All the way. Big losses there for Loren. Again, he's barely got anything left. Well, comparatively, so I mean, he's population-wise, it's pretty much close to the same. So look at the sort of moving pieces it essentially has. He's got a lot less than Redxwings, who's got a lot more infantry, of course. It also means Redxwings has a lot more to manage, but at the same time, if he plays it correctly, he can sort of exert a lot more pressure. So it depends on how well Redxwings can manage all of his moving pieces there. Kenworth for the blasting away, and you've heard before this is Fultz with his point blank. I think he's trying to go here for the Schwerpanzer quarters, actually. I mean, obviously, you can remove that. That would open up the southern fuel point and further deny territory to Loren and the Oberkommando West. Here, troops seemingly reinforcing. He's basically got a lot of paratroopers, the 50 caliber, and the rifle lieutenant here standing about doing nothing. He's still floating a lot of munitions. Also, here is also where, you know, for some of the R&R plants would be great. You know, just moving in there, and then, you know, once it's sort of roughly about half health, calling the artillery strike to help finish it off, so it just goes faster. But so far, nothing there from Redxwings. No any signs of weapon racks for BARs and bazookas. But there you go. I think he's trying to use the Kidnap as a spotter. Oh, snap. Taking direct hit from the anti-tank. And he needs to be careful. I mean, if he does get spotted out in the open, he could easily accidentally hand it over back to Loren, which is definitely not something that Redxwings should want to do. Again, he should always try to minimize the amount of the Kidnap his opponents has. There you go, though. Storm Tiger shoots, misses. But he lost the Kidnap, though. That's going to hurt... Both that we got paratroopers in the center being lost, murdered by the Obersoldaten. Vets, you see, I think 2 or at least 1, and with the bazookas too. That's an anti-tank asset less there for Redxwings and the 1st Armored Division. As Loren continues to fight a desperate stalling game, I imagine he might just now be trying to play for the King Tiger, and that could certainly be an idea there. Just a big fat King Tiger. Punter falls down to less than half health. He's still floating a lot of munitions, and Redxwings really would just benefit from upgrading his rifle. Even his lieutenant with more BARs, that will increase their firepower versus Loren's Fultz going to use an Obersoldaten, and that way really just sort of twisting himself into a big advantage here versus his opponent. But there he goes, Schwerpanzer quarters down, a big loss there for Loren, a big loss. Prevent him from getting any more Obersoldaten, any medium armor, and certainly now forces him into the path of the King Tiger. Looks almost damaged. Loren here in a pretty precarious situation. Destroying the Kidnap there. Good work. Not entirely sure what he's trying to achieve there. The paratroopers, it seems like he's actually throwing them away. He's trying to grenade there. But he gets caught on the Schwerpanzer. Oh, the battle headquarters. Oh dear, that was a bit awkward. Had it worked out, though, that could have been a huge loss there for him. And then gets wiped on retreat by mine, meaning he's now lost both of his paratrooper squads. Yeah. Quite a waste there, quite a waste considering how he had to get them. Got a Jackson on the way there for Redxwings to help deal with its Storm Tiger, or Storm Mercer as also known as. Still floating an awful lot of munitions. And he's also lost his paratroopers, but then you use those to lay down mines with at the very least, you know, so... He's just got a lot of munitions, but he's sadly not utilising. I feel that's, you know, a bigger mistake there by Redxwings, because it could be utilised just to make it harder for Loren to do anything. And particularly to push forward, like if you actually enter a lot of rifling with BARs and the lieutenant with an extra BAR, that could do a ton of damage to infantry-wise to Loren and just cause a massive manpower bleed, which would make it even more difficult to get out the King Tiger. Of course, you could just go for the Unarmed Pathfinders again. Amazing artillery ability, amazing. Thank you for the full moving up there. Sherman moving in as well. Jackson arriving there as well for Redxwings, and they're going to tank opening up there. Take aim. Keep armpit mounts off the shoots. Doesn't quite get it. Sherman rolling through here, causing a big mess there. Against Loren's position, almost losing the Sherman there. Smoke screen's going to be needed. Nice hit there on the rear of the Sturmtiger. Smoke screen on like Kettenwerfers. Almost got one of them. There we go. He wipes one like Kettenwerfer again. Lost the anti-tank gun. No infantry support here. No nothing. Not even the Jackson rolling in. The Sherman goes down. Oh dear, that's a bit less good there for Redxwings. That is less good. I mean, he is beginning to fall short on infantry as well. I mean, those two paratrooper squads were quite a sizable force of it. So this is really, we just need to be able to increase their firepower, which again is going to require BARs, but it just isn't aiming there yet. Jackson rolling ahead. Sturmtiger actually separated from the rest of his force. He was somehow catching and now deal with it. That could actually be a big problem there for Loren. He's lost one of his Kenrics. Could actually try and, oh, never mind. I was about to say just try and destroy it with like Jackson there, but he got recruited and might just be able to get away there before it can be recruited again. And then Redxwings can destroy it with the Jackson. So we'll still have two Kettenwerfers. Sturmtiger there seems a bit forgotten. Or perhaps looking for the best time to try and make it way back to its own lines safely. Redxwings there going for another Sherman. He's also seen approaching 500 munitions. And we got Orbital and the Everast behind the lines, not afraid of the Jackson tank destroyer. There goes Sturmtiger, takes a great hit from the 19mm gun of the Jackson, rifle machine in the face of the Orbital, closing in on eventually free. 16 kills for Deutschland. And forced to retreat there. Redxwings still maintaining overall map control here. Now he's in a much stronger position. But at the same time, he's not quite feel like utilising his resources for this gun. Again, there's just this big, huge munitions hump, which is slowly growing. Which sadly, isn't being, put towards actually, strengthening his presence at the front line versus Loren. Third, I came over there for Loren. That could actually prove to be a bit of a problem. Again, one like Kettenwerfer easy to deal with, also not that good. Two like Kettenwerfers nasty, but once you sort of hit like the larger numbers of Kettenwerfers, it can become a problem. As a rule of thumb, you generally just want to, either steal them or destroy them whenever you see them to ensure your opponent doesn't get them back. We'll go for more armor, we'll go for infantry, will he actually go for weapon racks? Again, he's got now 500 munitions here, but at the same time, Loren is floating munitions. Of course, the big difference is he doesn't have as much use as munitions on as Redxwings possibly have. I mean, he can lay down mines, and that's sort of it, but that's not bad either to do. Redxwings following up with a second Sherman tank there. Bringing up more armor. Sherman flanking in there, almost popping out the full combination with Kevin, also pretty close in there. Go good hit on the Sherman. And we got the Orbital in there with the Gibraltar Ladung, flashing the Yankees into the open. Sturmtiger rolling up as well. Loren there getting ever closer to the King Tiger here versus Redxwings. Ever closer. And there you go. Misses the rifle there with the Sturmtiger's rocket, except poor Joe, who got blasted into the next world. Kind of the spotted. Oh, that could be a wipe. That could be a wipe. Bit of a mistake there by Loren. Unless he gets super lucky, which apparently he does. This cheeky little bastard. He does. The Kettenwerfer actually gets away from that though. He's actually up to 4 Kettenwerfers. He's up to 4 bloody Kettenwerfers. That's going to be a problem there for Redxwings' armor. That's going to require more infantry. In particular, it's going to require infantry that's upgraded. I mean, so you had those rifles with upgrade with the WR set by Kettenwerfer, not gotten out of there. So it feels a bit odd. He's not going for any upgrades with him. He's making good use of the smoke, though. He is making good use of the smoke, and they're definitely neutralising the Kettenwerfer there. Oh, those Rifle need to retreat. Oh dear. And he gets one again if they've got another kid for the about support and got more kids moving up. The Kettenwerf is moving up there, engaging the Jackson. A dance of death. Rifle need to fall back soon though. Lieutenant getting blasted out in the own by the looks there. Veterinary 5, 34 kills. Also on there with the 19. Veterinary 3 themselves now. They get access to the field medkit, which just allows them to heal themselves automatically. Troops healing, reinforcing. Sherman repairing. Got the looks they're rolling ahead. Oh! Dear, he almost wiped the entire vehicle crew down the Sherman. That's quite unfortunate for Redwings, and Loren is now getting very close to the King Tiger. He's actually been able to stall the game here successfully against Redwings to go for a King Tiger. That is definitely not good for Redwings. Got the orbital near by the center victory point, desperately trying to grab a certificate of this, trying to, well, end their lives in as a graphic manner as possible. Germans there pulling back. Got the machine gun coming in the south there. Orbital pinned to the ground again, 650 cover treating to the looks there, blazing forwards. Loren getting ever closer to the King Tiger, the Tiger 2. Rifleman plinking away there at the focus at max range. Orbital well, now working towards Veteran 4 very slowly. Got the Storm sitting up there and rolling ahead like a lumbering behemoth. And there you go. Another lumbering behemoth of Kruppstahl for Loren, the King Tiger. And Redwings does have plenty of armor. The problem is though that plenty of armor is going to be supported by plenty of Kettenwerfs, so this Loren's armor is. And that's going to make it harder there. He needs to somehow deal with them first, if possible. That way he can sort of more easily focus on the rest of the armor. The problem is, again, if he tries to then focus down the Sturmtiger, the King Tiger, or the Lux, while the Kettenwerfs, they can quickly do a lot of damage. That's all the problem there for Redwings right now. It's also where the Recon is usually the most dangerous when they're supporting tanks in large numbers, because again you sort of have to prioritize, and again if you then make sort of the wrong priority you can quickly get punished. So this is sort of where Loren gets extra nasty with his Redwings, and again where his just lack of oh, he's finally going for it. He's finally going for it. Only took him 36-37 minutes to go there. He's still going to need a lot more weapons. I mean, he's only got like one rifle squad they upgraded, I think, with a single BAR. Lieutenant's with double upgrade, which is good. So he's going to need a lot more upgrades here versus Loren. Jackson landing a good hit there on the side of the King Tiger from nice distance there. But 2 Sturmtiger shoots, wipes the 50 caliber and the crew, utterly destroying them. Man follows up with a hit there on the Sturmtiger. Medics moving ahead once more, hoping to add another kill to their tally. Great hit there from like Kettenwerf. Another hit there on the Lux this time around from the Jackson. He's really making good use of that range. I mean, you can sort of see there the full 60 range in effect there, shooting from across the screen, taking out the Lux. So that's pretty good work there by Redwings. But he's losing a lot of infantry. He's losing a lot of infantry. He's going for another ambulance. They actually lost the medics. How tragic. Loren is merciless. Also not a complete idiot, it seems. Looking at the King Tiger there. Got Rifle versus Obersoldaten. Steel Pioneers flanking behind. Again, those like Kettenwerfs make it hard for him to use his arm because again he doesn't know where they are. And I mean, you know, again if they concentrate one place and he ignores them, he could cost them quite badly. Now the King Tiger's moving down, they need to somehow stop it, otherwise his troops are in a very bad spot. In fact, they might already be, even as they're retreating. The King Tiger slowly turning its turret. Funny thing though about the King Tiger, its turret rotation was actually really good. Like it was actually the Tiger 1 which had bad turret rotation. On the other hand, that could turn like 180 degrees the entire tank itself in like seconds, but the King Tiger had very high turret rotation, so we can actually do it like in a matter of seconds itself. That's a little fun fact there about the King Tiger, the Königstiger. Salvaging there the anti-tank gun. He's gone for 3 Shermans now, by the way. Got a Jackson. That is a lot of armour. Loren's forces are scattered across here. Might have a chance if he sort of commits to it fully. If he commits to it fully. Except he's switching out to high explosive rounds and he needs armour piercing rounds. But like, if he just hits the King Tiger, everything else, if he sees any like Evans and smokes them, there might be a chance there, but he also needs to commit the infantry. Like, it needs to be an all-out assault there. In which case he might have a chance of us the King Tiger and just taking out there. But again, needs to be all in, all out, no mercy. And it probably should involve an our Pathfinder squad again, just for that pinpoint artillery on the spot there. Also, more BARs to the riflemen. King Tiger then engaged by the Jackson, direct hit. Turn out the about to get wiped. He's smoke screening it for some reason and loses the lieutenant. Quite a loss of Recon, who's already short in infantry. Not looking good there. And he's trying to deal with it with pinpricks, but he just needs to, you know, deliver a shattering hammer blow against him instead. He's a bit sort of drying about here and there, but there's no real force focus here from Redwings, no concentration. No grander plan, it seems. Which is definitely to Loren's advantage. King Tiger there supported by Kenneth is advancing into the centre of the map. Hartmann Schultz in this Tiger 2. Turns the mighty turret, shoots, and lands a good hit, and then MD-Fed 4 crew almost wiping the entire lot. Redwings concentrating his armour for who knows what, seems to be setting up manpower for another airdrop combat group. Will this be it? But the promise, of course, now, he's actually got no infantry support left for his tanks. He's got a single rifle squad, but that's going to be really difficult then to pull off. And he also is not going for the King Tiger. I mean, right now the situation might actually be favourable for how the terrain actually makes it hard for the Kenneth to be focused on it. But, I'm not entirely sure what Redwings is doing. It seems like something happened when he redecided his Jackson is forgotten. Tanks being pulled back, not going for the Sturm Tiger. Not entirely sure what Redwings is doing by the end game. It seems like he himself is not sure what he wants to do. And that is giving Loren just a good chance of just getting back into the game, despite again having rather faltered heavily because he made the big mistake, you know, double looks into all 3 tech tiers, Sturm Tiger, and then into King Tiger. And again, Redwings I think been a bit more deft here. I think he probably could have started again, just done a lot of Shermans, then tried to steamroll Loren. It probably could have worked, but he never really, despite having so many Sherman tanks, played like he had a lot of Sherman tanks. Sherman down, Jackson almost down. There we go, finally going after the King Tiger. But again, the promise now the Kenneth can easily just fire at the Shermans. Again, there's nothing to clear them out. No real support. He can try and smoke them, but that's all here too late. All of his Shermans are now gone. He's got the Jackson left, and I mean, there's not really much left for Redwings to do. And there you go, airdrop combat group number 2. Rare to see more than one in a match, but he actually went to the promise, of course. It's not going to help him. It's just too little, too late. No idea what's landing there. Oh, he calls in strange enemy territory. The problem is, though, an entire squad, by the way, is lost to the trees. Yeah, I think they're gonna give that tree. Let's see, Knight's Cross with oak leaves. Yeah. That tree is a hero of the Reich. Beware the trees. Beware the trees. Anyways, there you go. Brutal 1 versus 1 here in Faymonville approach between the Redwings and Loren again. Redwings sort of struggling a bit in the early game, but still doing quite well with a rather offbeat strategy there against the otherwise common overcommand base strategy. Slowly pushing back. Loren makes a big shooting mistake again. There's one that a lot of overcommanders players like to do. Redwings almost pulled through, but again, the inability to just get weapon racks out and BARs and bazookas that to an extent hurts him. Also fails to lay down mines, allows Loren to get back to the map, and then he actually got a lot of tanks, but it seemed like Redwings wasn't sure how to make use of all these tanks, and thus they couldn't really pull off a big assault, which could have crushed Loren, I think, quite decisively. I mean, he sort of dithered about with the Shermans, despite having displayed, you know, he could actually use smoke quite efficiently, but it never really was combining into one big assault. I mean, tactically, again, micromanage right, he could sort of pull it off, but again, he couldn't just manage it into a big, you know, centerpiece, and he couldn't coordinate all the different elements which would, I think, allowed him to destroy Loren here, which allowed Loren to pull through here despite everything else. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If you want to replay your own, links in the video description. Please also detail where on leaderboards. Also in the video description, you can find links where you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Every little bit helps, so thanks there if you do decide to do so. And of course, a big thanks also to all my Patreon supporters, which allow these videos to make it possible. So thanks to all of you. This is Imperial Cheese. Thank you for watching. Hope you'll tomorrow for another Sunday episode. Bye.